Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview of Dead by Daylight's upcoming solo co-op mode. And disclaimer that they sent me a review copy of the game. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So if you aren't familiar with Dead by Daylight, this is a popular one versus many video game where the many are survivors trying to run around while the one killer, slasher-style killers, and many of them are based on famous IPs, try to chase you down and hang you from hooks. And that's how they win, gory. While the survivors are trying to find generators and turn them on, which will allow them to open the exit gates and win and leave. And the board game replicates that experience in a large sense. Originally, the game was for 3 to 5 players competitive, with one of them controlling the killer, and the other 2 to 4 splitting 4 survivors between them. But with the updated rules that are coming with the new crowdfunding campaign, first of all, you can now play 2-player. They have rules for a single player controlling all 4 survivors and kind of changing up how the hand management works. But secondly, you can also play solo co-op with either the killer automated, then 1 to 4 people can control the survivors, or with the survivors operated, and then the solo player can be the killer trying to track them down. So lots of fun ways to play this. Today what I'm going to show you is me controlling 4 survivors solo against 1 killer, and I'm playing on a harder than average difficulty, so we'll see if I can win. But first, let's break down some of the stuff going on. So you have in the core game a double-sided board. So I'm playing on one side, the Macmillan Estate. But some of the expansions you can get have more boards. And you'll see there's a bunch of location spaces joined by 1 or more movement icons, which have a color and an icon showing what kind of movement they use. That corresponds to movement cards the players have in their hand. And basically at the beginning of each round, they're going to secretly decide where they'll move. And then everything gets revealed, and the killer might have moved to the same place, and they'll grab you, that kind of thing. For yellow vaulting movement, you'll see it has an arrow at the end. That's because it's one-way movement generally. Also, a bunch of the movement spaces start with these walls on them, which means the survivors can't use them until the killer bashes through them. They don't stop the killer at all. And then they become available for the players. Each of the locations has from 3 to 5 prop tokens, these face-down things placed on them. These icons underneath the name of the location show which type of props are in each place. A few of these are going to get revealed at the beginning of the game, and then whenever a character moves into them, more will get revealed. But the color shows you what type they are. The red ones are all good for the killer. The yellow ones are all good for the survivors. That's where the generators and exit gates they need to leave are. The blue ones are chests of items and lockers to hide in, also positive. And the green ones are mostly positive for the survivors too. So pretty much only the red ones directly help the killer because they have pallets you can use to temporarily block a passage from the killer, or crows you can use to get an extra turn, but the killer can also use those. That's the only one that kind of helps them. And up here are 2 tracks for victory. So the killer is building up these sacrifice tokens. Usually they start with 0, but in solo co-op you can have them start with 0, 1, 2, or 3 to up the difficulty. Again, I'm playing on a harder difficulty with 2 already there, so they're already a quarter of the way to victory. And whenever they can put a survivor on a hook, they're going to get 1 sacrifice token at the end of every turn, so the other survivors have to run in and save that person. Additionally, though, each of the 4 survivors starts with a bonus hook that the killer gets to put down immediately when they hook that person. But if they hook the same person in the future, they won't get that bonus. So it encourages the killer to try to get every survivor and not just focus on one over and over. Meanwhile, the survivors have the track over here. This is the number of generators they've turned on. So we have to turn on 4 generators, and then we have to open one of the exit gates, which has its own progress to track. Then we immediately win. Each of the survivors has their own board. Here's that sacrifice token I was talking about. All characters have blood points they're tracking that are spent to power their abilities. The survivors start with 2 and can have a max of 6. The killer starts with 4 and can have 12. Each character can hold a single item card. If they get another one, they have to discard one of them. And they have 3 perks special abilities. Each of them has a different blood point cost and explains when it can be used. The killer is basically the same, except they also have a power they can use on their turn instead of interacting with something to do something very special to them, like the nurse can teleport through walls and stuff. Now, importantly, in the solo co-op mode, whichever side is being automated, they don't pay attention to any of this stuff. They just have 1 power that the game controls. And also, although I'm not doing it for the playthrough, there are tons of power cards. So what you can do when playing solo co-op or competitive is that you can draft some of these for your characters and make them very unique instead of having the normal combination of powers that they start with. All right, so that's the basic lay of the land. I'm just going to roll to see where each character starts. You can start in the same space as another character. You can start in the same space as the killer as well. And you're looking for these icons here that match the die faces on this basic black die. All right, so Dwight Fairfield is going to 3. Jake's in 1, Claudette's in 3, and Meg's also in 3. It's a lot of 3. And the nurse is in 2. So yeah, wow, we got a little bit of separation, and we are just really concentrated in a few spots. That's interesting. All right, and with that, let's jump into the first round and show you how things work. So the first step of each round is planning. I'm going to plan which direction each of my characters will travel. In a regular competitive game, each player would have 4 cards, 1 of each color. But in the solo mode where you control all 4, instead you have 2 copies of every card. You shuffle them up, and you draw 3 cards, and you pick one of them. Sometimes the options are a little limited for the first character. Then you draw another one, pick for the second character, draw another one, pick for the third character. So you always have 3 possible options, although as you see here, sometimes they're the same option. You don't really have 3. So Dwight's first. He could vault into the mine entrance or crouch down to the coal tower ground floor. Yeah, I think he's going to do the latter because I don't want him to be in the same space as the nurse, although she will often move away, so it might have been a safe option. Okay, now I get a sneak, but let's go and use one of the vaults to have more options. So I'm going to move Jake down here into the back lot. Claudette's next on these characters' actual turns. I'll show you what their powers are and stuff. Oh, good. I got a blue for one of them to join Dwight here. So let's have Claudette vault with Jake. And then May, our last character. Ooh, we got a green. Let's actually have her run up to where... Oh, crud. That's Dwight. Jake's over there. I'm getting their minis confused. So since I had the yellow I gave Jake at the beginning, I'm going to switch that to Dwight, and Jake will do the red. Then I am left with 3 cards, which does matter because some character powers or interactions will let you take a bonus turn or a bonus move, and you need to use the cards that are remaining in your hand. Now, in a competitive game, the killer would also pick their cards, but they would pick 2, and they would order them, so 1 first, 1 second. The killer also would have a wait card, a 5th card, that would let them stay in the same location they are, like if they thought Jake was going to vault over into the mine entrance. But in the solo co-op mode, after you plan, you just start going into your turns, and when you get to the killer's turn, you're going to roll dice to determine where they move instead. All right, so as we move our characters, let's meet them and see their powers. So Dwight has Prove Thyself, Leader, and Bond. Prove Thyself costs 1 blood point. It says you inspire others around you. When you would interact, another survivor in your space or a connected space interacts instead. And you'll see that can be really good because you're trying to interact with the same generator, for example, multiple times to get it finished quickly and closer to winning, so that's nice. Leader, for 1, when another survivor in your space moves, move with them, or when you move, another survivor in your space moves with you. I forgot about that option. Maybe I could have used that, but I think we're okay for this first turn. And then finally, Bond, when another survivor in your space or a connected space would make a skill check, roll 2 skill check dice and keep either result instead. He can use that for himself, importantly, but that's a pretty amazing one because there are very important skill checks, and as you'll see, failing them can be terrible. All right, and Dwight is vaulting from the coal tower upper floor into the back lot. So the first part of your turn is to move. The second part is to interact. Although I just realized I was supposed to flip over 4 tokens at the beginning of the game. So I don't know, let's flip over a bunch of the yellow ones to find out where the generators are. Well, that's worrying me because now I'm thinking that the yellows I'm just walking to might not be generators. But yes, whenever a character enters a room, they get to flip over 1 token. So Dwight is hoping, yay, it's a generator. And then the second part of your turn is to interact with something in your room. You can only interact with tokens that have been flipped face up, so just the generator in this case. And how interacting with the generator works is you roll a die. It's got faces with 1 through 5 hash marks and a little skull. The 1, 2, 3, and 4 just put 1 progress on the generator. 3 is enough to move it to the progress board permanently and get closer to winning. If you roll a 5, that's a critical success. You get 2 progress on the generator. But if you roll the skull, you accomplish nothing. And additionally, every time a skull is rolled in pretty much any circumstance and not re-rolled, the killer gets an extra blood point and is able to do more nasty stuff to you. But here you go. You got it, Dwight. 1 progress. You just put this right on the generator. Again, 3 progress. We'll take that off of the board and put it up on our progress track to get closer to winning. But importantly, if the killer moves into a space with a generator, interacts with it, they remove all progress from it. So sometimes you can build it up a lot and then nothing happens. Okay, next, Jake crouch moved into the coal tower ground floor. And he'll flip over a blue, see if he can get an item. Nope. But first, let's see his powers, 2 of which are free. Iron Will, for 1, says when you or another survivor in your space or a connected space rolls a failure, treat it as a success instead, but the killer still gains the red blood point. So between Dwight and Jake, we are very good for dice manipulation. You also got Calm Spirit. As an interaction, move a crow in your space to any space on the game board. Crows, again, the killer can also mess with, but they give you an extra turn, but give the killer 1 blood point when you use them. Finally, Saboteur. After you sabotage a hook, either gain a blood point or spend 2 blood points to take a survivor bonus turn. Sabotaging hooks is how you rescue people that the killer has injured and caught. You'll see all that when it happens. But here, unfortunately, this is a locker, which means that Jake can hide in it, and the killer will have a lower chance of being able to hurt him. But they're probably not going to get here. Still, there's nothing else for him to do interaction-wise, so we might as well. Okay, next, Claudette is vaulting into the back lot. And she's our healer. She's got botany knowledge. Before or after moving during your turn, roll the danger die. That's a red die that is less likely to be successful. On a success, another survivor in your space becomes healthy. You can still interact this turn, because usually healing somebody is your entire interaction, and also it has to be on the space you move into, but she can do it before she moves. But pretty risky, because you're rolling the red die, which, as you'll see later, tends to roll that skull icon and give the killer blood points. Empathy, at the start of your turn, you can take a blood point from a survivor, or you may give a blood point to a survivor. And finally, self-care, it's kind of the corollary to botany knowledge. At the start of your turn, roll the danger die. On a success, you become healthy. But some nice synergy here. Jake can turn a failure into an automatic success. Dwight can give her 2 dice to roll, which definitely helps because, just to show it to you, the danger die has 4 skull faces, but 2 critical successes. So sometimes you want to roll it because it could let you get double progress on a thing or whatever. All right, now what do I want Claudette to flip over? I guess let's do another blue. So this is a chest. If she interacts with that, she'll get to draw an item from the item deck, which can be super powerful. But for now, let's just try to finish this one up nice and quick. And I'm not going to use Dwight's power because Jake can turn this into a success if he needs to, but we got it. So if one more of us can get here and put a progress down before the killer comes and smashes it, we'll be a fifth of the way to winning. Okay, and finally, Meg is moving to the foundry upper floor. She is right next to the killer, who's over here, but since it's a one-way vaulting move, she should be pretty safe. And yeah, she'll go in and flip over. It's a generator! And she will try to do it. She's still within 1 of Jake. That guy is just doing awesome in the middle there, hiding in his locker. There we go. It's a nice, pretty solid start. Oh, but let's look at Meg's powers. So she is the runner. She's got sprint burst for 1 blood. After she moves with her movement card, she can move again along any other path. Pretty great. You don't have to use the right cards to do it. Adrenaline for 2 blood at the start of cleanup. If a generator has completed this round, take a survivor bonus turn. So she gets to kind of go off of our success and do even more. And finally, quick and quiet. When the killer enters your space before they interact with a locker in your space. So if she can just find places with lockers, she can be safer than most people. And all right, those were all the survivor turns. And sorry, this will go way, way faster now that you don't need to hear about each character. All right, so now we go to the nurse's turn, and let's see what her special powers are, even though you're not going to use them in this, just so you're kind of aware. So her main power she can use over and over again is Spencer's Last Breath. Lets her move to any connected space, ignoring pallets and breakable walls, and also she can move the opposite way on yellow vaulting paths. So she just kind of appears where you don't want her to, and that, by the way, is the one power of hers that is going to be emulated by the solo co-op mode. Then for her paid ones, which again won't be used at all, she's got Strider. At the start of the planning phase, for 1 blood, choose a wounded survivor, somebody who's already been injured by the killer. They must play their movement card face up before you or any other survivor, so she can make sure that she's tracking those people down to put them on hooks. Then it's Thanatophobia. I'm not sure what that's a fear of. When a wounded survivor would perform a skill check, they roll the danger die instead. That's pretty great. And finally, a Nurse's Calling. For 0, after a survivor becomes healthy, gain 2 blood points. Because one of the main interactions the killer does is if they're in a space with a survivor, they wound them and put a little red base on them to show they're injured. And then, as I said, with Claudette's abilities or with our own interactions, we can heal each other, but it's just going to let the nurse get more turns. All right, so now here we go. We're going to do the nurse's 2 actions. We roll a die, a 2, and they have this 1-pager of rules I printed out. She moves along the blue sneaking path. If there is one, if not, she'll go to the next one on the list and the next one until she finds a valid move. So she's going here, and she always prefers to flip over reds first. So that is a hook she can put one of us on if she catches us, but for the moment it does nothing. Now for her interaction, she has this pretty basic priority list. The last one at the very bottom is do not interact, activate the killer's solar power. That's if she has nothing else to do. And for the nurse, she spends 3 blood to seek. Moving against one-way paths is basically her using her Spencer's Last Breath ability. Or if she doesn't have 3 blood, but she does in this case, she instead gains a blood. So seeking is basically a bonus turn. A real killer could do this for 4 blood. The nurse is getting a discount here. And it's smarter since in the actual competitive game, when you seek, you get to play a movement card after you see where everybody actually is. But here it's kind of awkward because what they really want to do is move into a space and attack somebody, but I'm still too far away. So the priority goes all the way down to just wanting to reveal a red token, which all these spaces have. So here I think I get to decide for her. So I don't know, let's send her all the way up here to the mine depths where she'll uncover. Okay, that's not great. That's a hex totem. The killers can use it to get 2 blood points as their interaction. But if we can get in there, we can destroy it and get 2 blood points for herself, and then she can't use it anymore. So here she spent 3 blood to do the special movement, but she gets 2 right back interacting with the Hex Totem. So while that was her first turn, it's not usually that complicated. For her second turn, you roll, but if it rolls the same as the one she already did, because she's supposed to be kind of using movement cards like we do, and those are limited, then you again roll up to the next one until you get one that's valid. But red is green, which means she moves right back into the ancient tree. And if she's already flipped over all the red, she likes to flip over green, looking for a crow. She got one. So the killer can remove crows, so we can't use them for extra turns, and she gets another blood point. Oh, weird, which means she has 4 blood again to do a regular seek at the end of her turn, like a normal killer. But once again, there are no priorities besides revealing one of these reds, or the one up there. I guess I want her to be in the corner, so let's have her go here. She found another hook, so she can't do anything. She uses her power, and gets 1 blood, because she couldn't spend 3 to do her special teleporting seek. Well, there you go. That was about as complicated as a killer turn can ever get. They don't usually move that much. But she certainly scouted out a bunch of places, so she knows where the hooks are to hang us. So we get all 8 of our movement cards back and shuffle them, and we go again, with Jake being the first player to go this time. All right, the nurse is way far away. I'm not worried about her. Jake's got green, red, or blue. Only red or blue apply here. If he played a green, he would not move, and he wouldn't get to interact, so it's not good in any way. Oh, he's not in the locker anymore. Well, I think the obvious choices are red to finish off that generator. Claudette, meanwhile, can use a green to go either to the basement or the ground floor. Now, the awkward thing in solo co-op is that I don't know where the killer is going. In a real competitive game, I would get to see their results. So I'll probably ever go to the ground floor just to be safer. Okay, then Meg up here by herself. Well, let's go and use one of those 2 vaults because she can get to the mine entrance and nobody else can. And Dwight, good. I got a red because otherwise he would have been stuck. He can move up to the coal tower ground floor where Jake is. All right, so yeah, Jake moves to the back lot. And I guess he'll reveal the green. It's another crow. All right, let's see what he can accomplish. Yay! We got our 3rd progress, so that is 1 generator gone. That does mean that Meg, by the way, is eligible if she wants to at the end of the turn during cleanup to use 2 blood with adrenaline to take a bonus turn. We'll see if that's worth doing. All right, Claudette, meanwhile, will move up here. We know there's a generator. Let's see what the blue is. Oh, it's a crate, but now we'll keep on trying to win. We can pick up items when all the generators are gone. Okay, she got it. Meg is leaping over to the mine entrance. Another generator. 2 of these somewhere are exit gates. You can't use those at all until the generators are all done. Actually, I've flipped over almost all of the generators, so good, she got a progress. So I pretty much know where at least one of the exit gates is going to be. Okay, and Dwight is going up to the coal tower ground floor. Does he want to bring Jake with him? Now, I guess it'd be better for Jake to go to the ground floor of the foundry and try to help with that generator. Ooh, Meg could even come in and help. All right, what does Dwight want to flip up? Well, let's go for another. There we go. He'll discard that and get an item. And we get a flashlight. Discard this during the killer's turn to prevent the killer in your space from interacting. Well, that's great. Save us from an injury or a sacrifice. All right, we're still pretty far from the nurse. Let's see what she's doing. First, she gets a 4, which means she waits. She doesn't flip over anything, but she does get another blood using her power since she's not at 3 yet. Killer is a little bit dumb in this, but they tend to make up for it by explosive turns. And she got a 5. Oh, which is weirdly enough activating her power again. She's up to 3. But she didn't actually move or get anything yet. And yeah, you have to actually move in to flip these over. So just like staying in a space does not do it. All right, unusual, but you will definitely get a triple turn next time. If we're near her, she'll seek right to us. Ooh, but wait, do I want to have Meg take a bonus turn? I do have a green. Yeah, let's do it. So she spends all of her 2 blood. She won't be able to do this for a while. But I play one of the 3 cards I had in my hand at the end, a green, to move in here. And she'll flip over. Okay, it's a crow. And let's see if we can fast track this. Yeah. All right, this is going about as good as it could. All right, going into round 3. Claudette's first. She's got a lot of good options. Except she didn't get a green to go into the mine entrance to do that one. Oh, but the blue will take her up to the foundry upper floor to work on that. We'll go with that. And then Meg didn't get a green either, so she'll follow Claudette and try to do the same thing. Dwighty Dwight. He can't use a yellow because that's still a wall, so he has to... Oh, he's also going to the foundry upper floor. Well, we're definitely going to finish that generator between the 3 of us. Oh, man, we might finish 2 generators because I did get the last green, lucky, because Jake is also stuck in a no yellow zone. We'll play that for him to sprint. Got no chance, killer. So yeah, Claudette's running up here. Let's reveal, okay, another locker to hide in. And roll for that. Now, Dwight's near her. I could spend 1 blood. Nah, we don't need it. We'll be fine. Oh, we won't. Okay, the killer gets a blood, and we fail. And yeah, Jake is not close enough. Well, that wasn't great. But that's okay. Meg's got it. She's going to move in. And this time I'll have Dwight spend a blood to roll 2 skill dice. Now, importantly, if I roll a skull, even if the other one's a success, the killer still gets 1 blood per skull. Actually, I might get a super success, right? Let's see. Yeah! So that generator is done immediately. Oh, did Meg flip over something else? I don't think so. So there's another crow. Man, where are the pallets? That's my favorite green one that lets you block the killer's access to you. Okay, now Dwight's also moving in here. Ooh, nice. He will definitely blow that up to get himself 2 blood back. I don't think we need to hide right now. Finally, Jake. He'll flip over. Jeez, another crow. What the heck? Okay, he's going to roll, and he can use his power on himself, unlike Dwight. So if this doesn't go... Wow, he got a super 1. He didn't need it. So that is 3 out of 5 generators already. What the heck? Of course, that means basically all the rest of them are in killer land, so these scales are probably going to balance a bit pretty soon. But first, let's see what the killer is up to. They are getting a skull, which means they move on a yellow path. Oh, they're breaking that. So now, again, we can use this, and she'll get rid of the crow and get a blood. Okay, now her next action is a 3. Oh no, she's going on a green path, and her first priority is to get somebody. Yeah, now she's right in the mix. This is bad. So she injures Jake, and people have to generally be injured before they can be sacrificed on a hook. Oh, I forgot to flip that over when she moved in. And hey, there's a hook for her. Now, importantly, she can't hook somebody on the same turn that she injured them. So even if she was able to wait right now, she would not be able to get Jake. But she's not waiting. At the end of her turn, she is spending 4 blood to do a regular seek. And man, she just has a lot of options. She comes in, but wait. Dwight's got a flashlight shining in her eyes. Ha ha ha. So yeah, that's gone forever, but she does not injure any of us yet. But still, she's going to have a lot of targets as we run away here. Oh, and Meg during cleanup could do a bonus turn to move again, but no. She doesn't have any blood. Oh, she doesn't have any blood points for a double run either. That sucks. But if we can get Jake away, he's the one in true danger. All right, speaking of Meg, she's up first. So she can vault or she can go down. Well, yeah, she'll vault to try to finish off the mine entrance thing before the killer gets in there. Okay, then Dwight, where are you going? He can go green or blue. Oh, or red. I mean, green could be a generator, but with how many have already been flipped, there's literally only 3 yellows unflipped, and 2 of them are exit things. So that's a 2/3 chance it's not a generator, and also it'll be kind of in the corner. So let's have him go to the foundry ground floor where Jake is and try to escape. He'll have a lot of options from there. Speaking of Jake, he can only do red or green. Well, we got to do red to get farther away from the nurse and also to work on the generator down here. That is not red, Mike. Okay, and Claudette. I guess she could move down with Dwight. Oh, and then she could use a bird to move again. Yeah, let's try that, I guess. All right, so Meg's first. Hop over here. Let's flip a green. There we go. That's a pallet. So if you interact with that, you can put it on a connecting movement space. And the next time the killer would try to go through there, they just get rid of the pallet. They don't move and they don't get to interact. Now, unless, of course, the nurse is using her special magic power where she just teleports right through it. But nope, we're trying to win. So let's go for the thing. Oh, should Dwight... No, I guess Jake's connected, so he can have her change it to a success if she needs to. Gosh darn it. Yeah, so Jake will use 1 blood to turn that into a success, but the nurse still gets a blood for the skull. All right, we're at 2 out of 3 for that one. Okay, next, Dwight is coming down in here. Everything's revealed. Should he heal Jake? Remember, the nurse's power is not in effect, so she won't get extra blood from him doing it. Yeah, I kind of wanted to get the item, but I guess this is probably the nicer, smarter option. Okay, then Jake's running down here, and we got a locker to hide him, but nope, let's go for the progress. Oh, yes! That was awesome. And then Claudette also moved here. I'm getting a little worried now. So she could use a bird. It would let her take a bonus turn, but then the nurse would get a blood. But she's got green. We don't really want to go down to green. Oh, she's also got red to join Jake. Yes, definitely we're doing it then. So yeah, she'll use this, give the nurse a 3rd blood, and then she's using a green. I did it again. She's using a red to move down here. And Jake still got a blood to spend. Man, this is going to be the fastest playthrough ever, especially with that. We're done. That's our 4th. Wait, dude, how's that already our 4th generator? This is super speed, like light speed. I've never done this well. But, I mean, this is how it goes sometimes. It's a pretty random game, so I'm not going to re-record everything. All right, so now the nurse goes, and she's only got a 2/5 chance of moving in the right direction to get us. Oh, it's better than a 2/5 chance because a 5 is activating her power, which means she's going to seek into one of these guys' places. Now, I think for the tiebreaker, she cares about that being double progressed. I'm not sure, but anyway, she comes in and wounds me. That is 1 priority above damaging a generator with progress on it. But that did use all her blood, so that's good at least. Okay, and her second move is a 3. Oh no, which is green, so she gets Dwight too. That's okay. She hasn't actually put anybody on a hook yet, so we're still surviving. And yeah, she has 0 blood left to do a bonus 4 blood turn. So come on, we can make this happen. So at this point, we just need to put progress on exit gates, which is going to be that, or there's a yellow all the way down here. Dwight's up first, and he's wounded, so can't do a green and move up to Meg and heal her, unfortunately. Oh, if I move in here, I can use Claudette's power to auto-heal me, and Jake can turn into a success. So that's great. Let's go ahead and join Claudette. Okay, and then Jake... Dang it, we don't have the green we would need to actually go down to one of the spots that could be the finish. So I guess Jake will try to stay close and use a blue. Oh, I just realized I never flipped up something when the nurse moved in. Okay, so she's got another hex thing. All right, Claudette. Okay, good. She can move into green and see if this is one of the exit doors. And Meg, awesome, got a red to check out this other one. If not, she can destroy that for some blood points. It's a pretty good movement this turn. So Dwight is crouching over to here, and he'll flip that up. Wow, lots of lockers. And yeah, he might as well hide in one. Oh, shoot. I just read, and if you're in a locker, you can't be affected by any powers. So never mind. He'll just hang out and not interact. Because I do want Claudette to help out. Jake's moving on blue, and he finds a crow. Huh. Sure, we'll give the killer a power. Then I've got a green, which could... Yeah, there we go. That's one of the exit doors. So same thing as generators, except the crit does not add 2 progress, but also the killer can't get rid of progress, so we are always getting closer. Yeah, we got 1. Okay, that was pretty awesome with Meg coming in there too. Oh, shoot. Now Claudette is not within 1 of Jake to turn a failure into success. Well, here, Dwight will give her 2 die rolls, and she's using her botany knowledge to heal him before she moves. So we get to roll this twice, I think is how it works. So that's 1. This is the dumbest. Okay, this was definitely the dumbest thing ever. I just spent 2 blood to give the killer 2 blood. Great. He could have just hidden in a locker, Mike. Everything would have been fine. But Claudette is going down here, and that's the other exit gate. Interesting. So that 1 yellow on the way in the upper right was actually a final generator. All right, well, we got 2 we can be working on at the same time. Whichever one gets finished first. All right, and yep, Meg comes in here. And, whoop, we got another one. So yeah, we might win quickly. These go away, by the way. Now, we just got to hope that the nurse does not get a red for her first thing. Or a power use, because I would also have her smartly go after him. So it's a 1/3 chance. 4 is wait. So she does not use her power. Her first priority is to get another blood from the crow. That's good for us. And her second turn is a 2, which is a blue path. So interestingly, between the 2 blue options, she actually wants to go to the one with a revealed crow that she can use. Instead of nothing revealed she can interact with, even though the red might be better if it turns out to be one of those Hex Totem 2s. And then she spends 4 to get a 3rd turn, moving over here, and that gets her 2 blood back. But I think it's going to be too late. Well, actually, maybe not, because nobody can get back into the mine depths, can they? All right, so Jake's up first. And I think best for him would be to go to the ancient tree. That would put him between the 2 exits, giving him options for next time. And Claudette, I guess we'll do the same, even though they don't have much to interact with there. Meg can also run into the ancient tree. Oh, it's actually the only action she can take, so yeah. And then Dwight, come on, I didn't get a green. Oh, I used all the greens. Duh, Mike. I could have had a green if I'd been smarter. So I guess he'll go into ancient tree too. She can't kill all of us. Yep, so Jake runs in here and does nothing. Because yeah, obviously the generators don't matter anymore once you've got 4 powered up. Claudette also comes in here. This is a great turn so far. And Meg, wait a second, did I literally put everybody in here? Yes, I did. That's fine. Again, she can't sacrifice all of us, and then at least 1 or 2 of us should be able to get to the top and win it next time. Well, let's see if she comes after us. Uh-oh, this is bad. A 2 is, yep, a blue. So, hello. Yeah, we have no items or anything to stop her. So our first priority is to hook a survivor. I guess I get to pick between Dwight and Meg. Dwight still got blood, Meg doesn't. So Meg, go on that hook. That does mean, by the way, that nobody else can be on that hook. So at least the nurse will have to find something else. And she immediately gets a sacrifice token for Meg, the bonus one on her. But then during the cleanup phase, if I haven't rescued her, which clearly I won't have because we won't get time, she's going to get another one for every person on a hook over and over until we save them. And now don't roll a wait, because then she would also get Dwight. 2 she can't do, so 3 would be green. So she, okay, comes up there. Again, she can't break the exit door, but she does get 2 more blood from that. Which gives her 4 to come right down here and try to put Dwight on a hook as well. Now, she can't use the hook in her room, so she has to carry him to a hook, which gives him a chance to escape. You see where the nearest hook is. In this case, it's one away in this red room. And Dwight gets to roll 1 die for each space he's moving, and if he can get a crit, then he escapes. But Jay can't use his power to turn it. Nope, that's not good enough. So she carries Dwight. She does still reveal something in here, by the way, but he doesn't. And then she puts him on that hook. So that's his bonus one. And then we go to cleanup. And yeah, you can see how explosive things are when you let the killer start with a lot, because she's actually 1 turn away from automatically winning if both of them are still on hooks. But I think Jake and Claudette got to ignore that and just go for the win. But Claudette is first, and yes, okay, she's got a green. We're going to have her run in there. Megan Dwight gets skipped. Oh, and Jake also got a green. Awesome. So we got 2 chances to win the game. Although we, again, immediately lose if we somehow don't roll successes. Oh, but Dwight's got a blood, so it's going to happen no matter what. But yeah, just to show how it could have worked if one of us had moved here and interacted with him. You rescue the survivor, you sabotage the hook so the killer can't use it until the end of the round, and then both you and the person you rescued get to move in whatever direction you want without a movement card, and you can move in different directions. So it lets you kind of get away before the killer can re-sacrifice you. But nope, we're not doing any of that. Who is first? Claudette. Let's see if you got what it takes. Not that it matters, because Jake can turn it into a success, but you got it! And Jake and Claudette escape. We won't worry about what happens to Meg and Dwight. I'm sure they're fine. But again, on the difficulty I was playing, if we had even a single more round of both those people being on sacrifice hooks, we would immediately lose. So that was Dead by Daylight, its new solo co-op mode, and I will note that the rules totally work because I'm just playing with an original version of the game. So if you already own it, I don't know if they will publish the rules right away, but you can play it as soon as they do. You don't have to buy anything extra for it. What do I think of the game overall? Competitive, I think it's a ton of fun. My kids really enjoy it. It is pretty random with the die rolls and guessing where people are going to move, but that's all part of the fun, you know, groaning when the killer happens to have guessed and moved to the exact same place you were going. Also, the variety in powers, not just in the basic characters, but again, in those special cards, so you can kind of craft your own perks. That is a lot of fun. And even with the core game, you got 2 boards. You've got, I think it's 4 killers and 6 or 8 survivors. Again, with lots of cards to mix and match in. So I think there's a good variety here. It's just a fun, kind of silly time. How about the solo co-op mode? I think it does the job. It's not necessarily so amazing that I would say you should go out and buy the game just for solo co-op. But it is nice that it lets you play as the killer or as the survivors, or have even a team of survivors for co-op. That gives it nice legs and variety. Now, it does only let you use 4 killers. Those are the only ones that have their powers kind of translated. I'm sure other people could house rule more. And one of the killers is an expansion that they didn't send me. So I've only been able to play 3 of them. And if you have the base game, you can only play 3 as well. And similarly, you always use the exact same 4 survivors. So you're not really getting the power variety on the other side. That's all on your side when you're playing the game solo co-op. Now, additionally, potentially my biggest disadvantage for the solo co-op mode, as you saw here, is that it's super swingy and random. They could have gone one of 2 directions here. They could have had a lot more priorities for the killer and had them kind of more intelligently move towards the players. That's actually what I suggested to the team. What I thought would be nice is if each of the dice was connected to 2 colors, and then the killer would have kind of some chase down preferences that would have them at least move closer to the players. Because you saw sometimes they just go like on the exact opposite end of the board, and it's kind of boring. But they wanted to go with the other option, which is very streamlined. You just roll a die, move there, whatever happens, happens. Which works fine. I mean, you see that in the end, with me playing on a higher difficulty, it was still very tense, and if the killer had gotten us earlier, it might have been too difficult. But it's also just a very swingy experience, so don't come in with the official solo co-op expecting things to be super strategic. This is just a fun experience, silly little time, and I think for that, it's still really good. So go check out the crowdfunding page. It should be live as of this video going up. And see what you think. Thanks for watching, everybody. And a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, Matt G, Dan, J. William F, Steve Wren, Andrew R, and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.